A big thanks to Conflict of Nations, which is a free PvP real-time grand strategy game which allows players to take command of a modern battlefield, for sponsoring this video. You can choose a real country and lead it in World War III in matches with up to 128 players that can take weeks to complete. Take control of assets like ballistic submarines, stealth fighters, WMDs, and more. Build alliances and manage your war economy on amazingly detailed maps. It's available on PC as well as mobile, and you can play with the same account. So click on my link in the description to get 13,000 gold and 1 month of premium subscription for free. This offer is available only for 30 days, so act now. Choose your country, choose your strategy, engage in epic battles, and take over the world. Thanks very much, as it does help this channel, and if you like RTS games, you will very much enjoy Conflict of Nations. The United States is at a crossroads. Its empire is being assaulted on all sides, economically, geopolitically, financially, and yes, militarily. The US dollar has been the world reserve currency for approximately 102 years in different iterations after it replaced sterling, which itself had a 105-year run. Over the past 570 years, the world reserve currency was also held by Portugal, Spain, the Netherlands, and France. They all came to an end for different reasons, but the US during its tenure has used its position to weaponize the dollar and the global trading system for decades through various means. And now many countries, client states, rivals, non-aligned, and outright hostile nations to the United States are now in the process of de-dollarizing the world economy. The overarching concern of much of the world is that a belligerent United States might target any economically vulnerable nation at any time, and this sentiment has sparked a worldwide trend toward de-dollarization. And this trend has accelerated significantly, particularly following the imposition of economic sanctions by US-led Western powers against Russia in response to its invasion of Ukraine. Now, while this doesn't mean that the dollar will disappear or totally retreat from the global economy, it does indicate that a new world order is emerging, one that President Joe Biden in late October said needed to be built and guided by the United States. However, the creation of this new world order, unfolding as it is amidst the Ukraine and Gaza conflicts, well, Russia is endeavoring to garner support from developing nations to construct a new global order emancipated from what it calls US hegemony. Geopolitically, well, the conflict in Ukraine has shown conclusively that the hegemony of the United States is not as invincible as it would like to portray. NATO tactics as well as weaponry have been proven to be much less effective when being deployed against adversaries that rise above the level of militants with Kalashnikovs. Moreover, the weaponization of the dollar through seizure of assets as well as sanctions have not brought any tangible results, but in fact have seen blowback that has wreaked havoc on the economies of America's vassal states in Europe. Financially, Ukraine as well as Israel have become giant black holes into which tens of billions of tax dollars have been sucked into, the former over just the past 2 years and the latter for decades. And this comes at a time where, for all intents and purpose, the United States is a bankrupt nation with a national debt inching toward $35 trillion, with almost a quarter of tax revenue being used just to service the interest of that debt. But US lawmakers are throwing billions around like there is no tomorrow, which, as George Washington said presciently, the last official act of any government is to loot the treasury. Geopolitically, the profound changes unfolding on the world stage and in the balance of power are so substantial that they warrant consideration on the scale of a world war. However, the existence of nuclear weapons in the possession of major global players and the intricate web of influential and diverse actors in international politics makes a direct collision between major powers or their blocs quite improbable. It should be noted that historically, significant shifts in power have often triggered large-scale military conflicts. However, the contemporary notion of a world war, frequently discussed by commentators entailing a complete global conflict, well, it's at odds with what is currently playing out. The kind of conflicts we are witnessing at the moment will continue, and they will continue to be a series of substantial yet localized confrontations. Each of these conflicts, in some manner, involves major players and teeters on the edge of extending regionally, indirectly connecting to other pockets of instability. This sequence commenced with the Middle East conflicts in the last decade, that being Yemen and Syria, and has extended to Ukraine since 2014, followed by the South Caucasus and now presently in Palestine. And this list will grow as this new world order is being formed. What's particularly alarming about the Pax Americana is the quantifiable and clear evidence indicating that Washington's influence globally is highly disruptive. The military intervention project at Tufts University Center for Strategic Studies revealed that the United States has engaged in over 500 international military interventions since 1776, with nearly 60% of those occurring between 1950 and 2017, and over 1/3 of those after 1999. What this means is that the propensity for military force over diplomacy or economic warfare is not only persistent, but accelerating, especially since the end of the Cold War. And all of this is set against a backdrop of the declining institutions within the United States domestically. And where does the United States fit into all of this? Well, internally, it is politically polarized to the point of paralysis. Trust in every institution, banking, the media, university, healthcare, police, the government, and even the military is at dangerous all-time lows. The United States at present lacks the stability in its institutions and the robust diplomatic and military capabilities it once possessed. A clear illustration of this decline is evident in the US and its allies consistently facing setbacks in proxy wars against Russia, for example in Syria and in the Ukraine, as well as China's diplomatic successes in the Middle East and in the wider world. Domestically, there is a growing divide, not just politically, but generationally within the United States. And just this week, the 2002 letter to the American people by al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden recently gained traction on TikTok, revealing disillusionment among young Americans pertaining to the moral character of their nation. Notably, in one of his letters, bin Laden expressed a preference for then Vice President Joe Biden over President Barack Obama due to his belief that Biden's assumption of power would lead the country into crisis. And this perception of incompetence was seemingly utterly confirmed during a recent meeting by Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Biden's rambling remarks during a press conference, coupled with his affirmation when asked by a journalist that Xi Jinping was a dictator, well, it raised concerns about his leadership among many. And the visible cringing of Secretary of State Blinken further underscores the doubts that many have surrounding Biden's mental fitness and his abilities. Bankrupt, polarized to paralysis, a population being priced out of everything from housing to food, with high inflation, a military made up of job program personnel that they can't even fill, a de-dollarizing world, and many client states as well as rivals breaking apart the US-led world order, the current disappearance of the global status quo means that the world has entered into a long period of turmoil in which new frameworks will have to be established. When and by what means is anyone's guess. And what comes next? Well, nobody can say for sure, but change is coming, and it's coming soon. The rise and fall of empires is something that is as constant in human history as the rising of the sun. While America will surely carry on, the days as the global hegemon with no challengers has come to an end, and the sun is setting on the Pax Americana. Thus, in sum, the United States, which is still a great power with massive residual influence and wealth, is experiencing a steep decline fueled by a self-interested oligarchy. This self-cannibalizing political leadership has contributed to the rapid erosion of American power over the past decade and is exemplified by figures like Biden, who, given his obvious mental decline, well, he and his ilk are running the United States and its people into the ground. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please check to see that you're still subscribed, as YouTube has unsubscribed tens of thousands of people without their knowledge or consent. And remember to click the alert bell for when new uploads arrive. As well, please remember to check out my sponsor, Conflict of Nations, which is a free PvP real-time strategy game allowing players to take command of the modern battlefield. It very much helps the channel and it is very much appreciated. So then, thanks again for watching, and I will see you again in the next video. Bye for now.